Welcome to the channel, my name is Jerry, and in this video we'll be rooting the Valley machine on TryHackMe that was released about a week ago. It was a pretty fun exercise to go through the first time that I did it, and I hope you will learn something. I definitely learned something. This machine features some really cool privilege escalation technique, and it's not super challenging. It is a little bit hard, but not too bad. It's a pretty good, easy machine. The trick is to make sure you enumerate things, and there are a few things that I discovered from my VM that the TryHackMe VM didn't have a problem with, which is how I rooted the system originally. So in this video you'll see a couple of issues that I run into, but we just bypassed those with some of the stuff that I remembered from the first time that I did. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So we have our IP address and we've started the machine. I'll just copy that to the clipboard. We will need to run an nmap scan. We're going to do a -A for aggressive, and we want to do a -P- for all ports, and we want it to be T4 and skip ping scanning. We will copy that into there, and then we want that to be verbose so that we can see it, and we'll run that. So as we can see already, we have port 80 and port 22 open. 80 is HTTP usually, and port 22 is SSH. What we can do is, while that's still running, we will jump over and see what is on port 80. We've also found a open 37370. So maybe if we can just make this bigger. So it says Valley Photo Company. Allow Valley Photo Company to introduce itself. We are the premier photography company to capture the perfect moments. We offer a number of samples of our previous work in a gallery which can be seen below. So we have a view gallery. We capture memories to forever hold. We use top-of-the-line equipment used by professionals all around the globe. Quality is of the utmost importance, so if you aren't satisfied, then it's free. Then eat free. We offer the lowest prices for the highest quality, so we got view pricing, memory enhanced through photography, and the Valley Co. So let's just have a quick manual enumeration of this while that's still scanning. So here we have the gallery. Click on one, then go back home. Let's look at pricing. So this is, it's got your different prices and the return home button. It's a very simple web app. So let's have a look. So this is going to take a while, so let's speed this up and we'll be back once it's done. This video is brought to you by hot chocolate. Get some. Alright, so as I said earlier, port 22, we have SSH, open SSH 8.2, and we're possibly running an Ubuntu system. We have the SSH host key here, we've got port 80, HTTP, we're running an Apache server 2.4.41, and we have a bunch of filtered ports which probably are nothing. This might be interesting, but we have an FTP server going on here. So the way that we're gonna attack this will probably be through FTP, and then we'll do a crack at port 80. But while we're doing FTP, I'm going to start a directory busting on the website and see what we can enumerate in that way. So we'll go Control T. So we'll go derb HTTP, and then the address, and I think that's it. Let's give it a go. Actually, what I want is derb, and then we want, what was the word list? User share word lists, derb, and we go big, and we'll let that run. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all of this, copy that, and open a thing. We're going to go and map. Copy that into here, and we will save that into our Valley folder. And map. So what we'll do is we will try to do an anonymous login. And to specify the port. 37370. Was that the port? Yep, so we'll go. Oh, my bad. Anonymous. Login failed. Alright, interesting. No, exit. We'll just try some default credentials and see root. Sometimes it may not have a password. Nope. Alright, well, in that case, we're kind of stuck with that. We'll just see what we're doing here. What we can do while we wait for that is we can look at some of the source code. So what do we got here? Style sheet. Have a look at the sources. Nothing there. Let's look at gallery. Anything interesting there? Nope. What you do notice, which is really interesting, is the fact that these pages, like pricing.html, is contained within the pricing directory. Just have a look at this scan. I haven't found anything yet. So, what I'd like to do is have a look at what that directory contains. Oh, we have a note.txt. So the first thing we have is, Jay, please stop leaving notes randomly on the website, from RP. Well, that's interesting, because that would mean that there's probably other notes that we are looking for that may be around. Okay, so back there. Is the gallery the same? Yeah, gallery is the same, so let's have a look. Gallery. Static also has 0, but doesn't actually show what's in here, so there's nothing on 0. So the previous time that I did this box, I was able to enumerate the other pages, the different files that are present on this system, but for some reason I can't do that. I don't know why it's not letting me, and it's really frustrating me. So when I previously did this box, it came up with this static where the pictures are all saved, and we've got 1 through to 19. And I originally put a 0 here because I wanted to see if there was anything before the 1, and it says that it's not found. But if we put a 00, we have another note. So we save dev notes from Valley Dev. Add wedding photo examples, redo editing on number 4, and remove dev, and then a whole bunch of numbers. And then we check for seam events. So we've found out a couple of things. We have Valley Dev, which could potentially be a user. Who knows? We have a dev page, and we have a seam on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that. We're going to navigate to that page. And we have a login form. Next, we want to go and inspect the source. We want to see if there's anything helpful here, because there may be some information that's helpful for us to kind of learn how this whole thing works. So we want to see there's a login form kind of thing. Too interesting there. Maybe if we go into this, let's duplicate this tab. There is a dev.js. So here we have our login JavaScript. So function is valid username. If username is less than 5, username is valid. If it's else, it's invalid. Password length less than 7, then it's valid. Yep, cool. If username is seamdev and password is California. Interesting. Window location, and it will take us to this place. Let's see if we can get in there unauthenticated, because sometimes you can. And we can, apparently. So dev notes for the FTP server. More information. Stop reusing credentials. So we've just found some credentials here. We've got seamdev and California. Stop reusing credentials, check for any vulnerabilities, stay up to date on patching, and change FTP port to normal port. So we know that our FTP port is on a very strange port here, 37370. We also know that they're reusing credentials, and that if we were to log into this page, where are we going? if we were to log into this page with seam dev and California, then it would take us straight to that node. So what we're going to do is we will go back to FTP. The right thing. FTP. (37370) seam dev California. Login successful. We've got the first one. So let's list out what we have here. So we have PCAP, 3 PCAP files, an FTP, HTTP1, and HTTP2. So what we want to do is we want to get seam FTP, seam. Might have to do one at a time. Wow, this is slow. This is painfully slow. Now to read these, I need to check if we have Wireshark. Yes, we do. Great. So we'll get that open. Alright, so we'll exit that. So we'll go to import. No, open. Look at our FTP, see if there's anything interesting there. Now, I've really appreciated this about this room is that I've never actually encountered one where you had to open up Wireshark and check out some of the network traffic, which is really cool. So here we have a request. The user is anonymous. So they've gone to connect, used anonymous login, and then they've enabled a bunch of features here. They're listing that. Let's see if we can follow the TCP stream. So this kind of gives you, if you follow a TCP stream, then it kind of gives you the process of what happened with each packet, and it kind of joins all the packets together and gives you the nice layout here, so you can kind of see it happening in real time. So we have a login successful. They found out what kind of Unix type it is, the features that were present. They then changed a couple of settings and checked what directories there were, so they listed the directories, and then they left. So I wonder if I can EPSV. So there's not really much here apart from that anonymous login, which we tried at the beginning and it didn't work. So what we're going to do then is we'll open the next PCAP file. Now this one's substantially longer. Nope. Alright, so that doesn't really have anything in it for us. Number 2. See if there's any information here. I had a filter on, so I couldn't actually see what was there. So this is interesting. We have a post request here, so we'll have to look at that. So most of these things are a GET request, but if we have a post request, so post index. Now, if you remember, there isn't actually anything to post to, so there's no login on the index page at this point, but we have here a uname, guessing username, valleydev, and password, photos 1234. So what we can do with this, let's copy and paste that, copy into our mouse pad thing. So we have seam dev, which is California, and then we have our valley dev. So get rid of that. So now we have 2 sets of credentials that we can work from. What we can do is we can SSH into the machine. So we'll go seam dev at this. Where did my mouse pad go? There we go. Seam dev at that. Find a fingerprint, yes, California. Alright, so that didn't work. We'll do valley dev. So then we'll copy and paste that. And we're in. So who am I? Valley dev. So we're in the home directory, ls. We have a user text, cat user. Cali in the valley. Copy that. Paste there. Alright, so what we need to do is we want to see if we got any sudo privileges. Says sorry, user valleydev may not run sudo on valley. Well, that's unfortunate. So we've got an Ubuntu, GNU Linux. Alright, so let's move out and see if we have any other things. Alright, so we have, let's see what these are. So we have a seamdev, we have Valley, we have a Valley, sorry, seamdev, Valley, Valley Authenticator, and our Valley dev. So we will need to find out what this Valley Authenticator is. Dev. That's wrong. Alright, so can we move into the seamdev folder? Okay. So no one, except for those that have Valley permissions, can go into the Valley directory, and seam directory is for seamdev. But I think we've already seen that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go cd, go to that, see what we have here. So our root folder, no one else can get in that. So a command that I like to run is to find out, there's two things. One is to find things files that have weird permissions, and the other thing is to check cron jobs. So I'm going to check cron tab. Sorry, that was totally wrong. So I'll go cat Etsy cron tab. So the cron tab file tells you what automations are set up on the system, and a lot of the automations are run as root. So here we have just these random ones that are run every 17 minutes and that kind of thing. Whereas here we have a very interesting photosencrypt.py script that is run every minute. I'm going to guess that this is our way to escalate our privileges because this is run as root. So if we can somehow change this to run something that we want, then this will execute once every minute and we can escalate our privileges. So what we want to do is we want to cd into here, and we want to nano the photos. Alright, so invokes Python, import base 64, which is interesting. For I in range 1 to 7, 1, 7, specify the image path, that, open the image, code the image, specify the path to the output, write the base 64 image data to the output file. Alright, so now that we know that that's how it works, I was originally very stuck on this point. I did a lot of enumerating and I wasn't really sure what to do. But I found out that you could manipulate the library. So as we can see, what I'm trying to say is, here we import base 64, and that is a library that this script we'll call out to, we'll use functions of. So like base64 encode, image data, that. And so as it imports that, it will then execute that code. It will be present on the system. So that means if we go to user lib and we ls, we'll find the Python 3.8 module. So cd into Python 3.8, less that. So here we will have a base64.py. So cd nano base64.py. So before we can do anything, so this is the file we want to manipulate, we want to change. We find out that this file is unwritable. So we need to change to a user that can write to this file. So we want to check permissions. So here we see that Valley admin root and those in the group Valley admin can do that. So here we have a Valley authenticator. So groups. So we want to find out who is a part of the Valley admin group. So we'll go groups, Valley, groups. So I'm part of the Valley dev group. We want to look at root. Valley. Okay, so here we go. So Valley is part of Valley admin. So if you remember though, we want to see this stuff. So if we can get maybe even the word valley, there might be some sort of thing. So we go grep. So this command here kind of narrows down the search into what we actually want. So we want 10 lines before and 10 lines after. And here we are. So what we have here is we have a hash and another hash. What we're going to run this through. What we're going to do is we're going to open CrackStation. Yeah, we'll paste that in there. And here we have Liberty. So now, what do we have? Let's consolidate our findings. We have some new credentials, Valley, and the password being Liberty 1234. One, two, three. Liberty 123. What we can do now is we'll test that theory. Valley Liberty 123, and it says authenticated. Great. So we'll become Valley. And we've become Valley. CD into Valley. Useful here. So now what we can do is we can go change that file that we wanted to change before. So that is in nano user lib Python 3.8 base 64 pi. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to import a bash shell. Import OS and we'll import chmod plus s bin bash, so that just changes it to special permissions for the bin bash binary. So then when the Python script executes, it will execute this as well. So we'll save that. And now bash dash p eventually just give it a minute. we have root. So we want to cd into home, ls. Where are we? Root. cd ls cat the root flag, and here we go. We have our root flag. Well, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.